Weilà raga, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode, another lesson in our Zero to Hero Italian grammar series. If this is the first time you're joining us, if you've been joining on occasion, or wherever in between, even if you've been coming to every single lesson, I've got much love for you if you're one of those people, but I've got love for everybody. The point is, welcome. And what is the point of this series? So I've been on YouTube since 2011. I've been teaching English and Italian on here for 14 years at this point. I give weekly live group lessons on Zoom where we talk about these very same things. I teach in the very same way. We've got a great group of students that have been joining us. I've been doing the live group lessons, I think, for 3 years now. Long story short, this series is to refresh a lot of the content that I've got here on my channel and to bring my live group lessons to many more people. Obviously, you're all welcome to join, but for those of you that are unable to, or even for those of you that do join and just want a little bit more, this is to be a series where we start from the most basic and gradually work our way up to the most advanced material. So, we've pretty much entered now sort of the apice, sort of I don't know what that would be in English, but I guess like the top of the mountain, We've reached pretty much the top of the mountain, and now what we're going to do is just keep bringing everything together. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about pronominal verbs, not wholeheartedly. I'd like to talk a bit about riuscire, potere, riuscirci, and farcela. So we'll kind of see how that goes. And yeah, let's just head on over to the digital whiteboard and let's get going. Okay, so what I want to cover today is potere versus riuscire. So we're going to start there. And then if we have time, I'd also like to get to farcela, which is a pronominal verb. I have a video already on it that I did like 5 years ago. I'll have it linked down below in the description. Just because it was made 5 years ago doesn't mean it's bad, but it's not like a part of this Zero to Hero series that I'm doing. So I might be making another one of those videos soon. And then we've got Riuscirci. Yeah. So, okay, cool. So let's sort of begin with like what's going on. Why should we be bringing up these two verbs and then these two pronominal verbs? What even is a pronominal verb? Let's just kind of sort of get our bearings about us, okay? So let's begin here with some background. And obviously, if you've watched most, if not all, of our past videos in the Zero to Hero Italian grammar series, you will be ready to tackle what's here. You don't have to watch the videos in order. I've got them listed in order. I've got a playlist just of the Zero to Hero videos, and then I've got a playlist of all of my videos in a logical order. You'll notice the Zero to Hero ones don't like match up perfectly because I kind of change my routine of what I teach in order as time goes on. So yeah, you could watch these out of order if you wanted. But if you've been following from the start, you are more than prepared to tackle what we've got today. So let's talk about some background here, okay? So let's begin first with potere. Potere is a very important verb in Italian. We use it all the time. It's essentially the verb for can. However, what it most appropriately means, at least, yeah, we could word it that way, it means to be able to, okay? And the reason why I put it that way is because if you tell someone this expression here, posso parlare l'italiano, okay? This might be the first thing that comes to mind for many English speakers that want to translate from English, I can speak Italian. Is this an incorrect translation? Well, it's going to depend how you look at it because the answer is yes and no, okay? So the reason why, yes, this is a correct translation is because literally this means I can speak Italian. Okay. However, what is the implication of this phrase? The implication is that you do not have any sort of impediment that would prevent you from being able to speak Italian. So this is not the I can speak Italian because I have the skill. I've studied, It more implies that you could, if you wanted to, maybe you're holding yourself back. Or maybe there is something external that is preventing you from exercising this skill that you have. If you said non posso parlare italiano, for example. So if you told someone non posso parlare, you can also say italiano. After parlare, it is acceptable to not use the definite article when talking about a language. It's something that happens all the time. Obviously, this one up here is the preferred way of saying it, but you can feel free to do this as well, okay? So if you say non posso parlare italiano, this means I can't speak Italian. But it gives you the idea that something is in your way, okay? That's how I'm going to say it. Something is in your way, or my way, seeing as we're talking about io in the situation, okay? So something's in your way. There's a reason why you can't do it. So that's different from being able to, or that's different from simply communicating to someone, I know how to do this. So what is the preferred way of saying, I can speak Italian, as in I know how? In that case, you should be saying instead, so parlare l'italiano. Let's just change it up. I'm liking this, this variation we've got here. So this means I know how to speak Italian. In other words, I can speak Italian. There's nothing blocking me. There's not me holding myself back, and maybe I'll speak Italian to you later when I'm feeling more comfortable. You know, nothing like that. This is I can as in I know how. So if you want to say that you can as in you know how, go with sapere and then the verb that's not conjugated. Well, the verb after would not be conjugated, okay? Because you conjugate sapere. So you're going to say sapere, I'm going to put it all in caps, sapere plus verb not conjugated, I'm just going to put it like that, to say I can as in I know how. Okay? If you want to say I can as in a physical or mental or whatever ability, then you say potere. Okay? So you would say potere plus verb. Well, that's not abbreviated. Not conjugated. I was thinking too fast. I'm always jumping ahead. Potere plus verb not conjugated to say I can as in I am able to. Okay? I have the capacità. I have the abilità. I have the ability, the capacity. La potenziale. Why do we say potenziale? Notice how this shares a root, potenziale, with the verb potere. This is potential. Ooh, ain't that fun? When we start looking at, roots of words and seeing kind of why we say what we say, that's some of the beauty of language learning, my friends. I do this all the time in my live group lessons, so those of you who follow those, who come to those lessons, you guys know I'm all about this. I'm all about saying, ooh, look at that, look at that. That's why potenziale is potential. That's why potere not only means can or to be able to, it also means power in English. If someone has a lot of potenza, okay, someone has this also means power. So potere can mean, yes, potere can mean power, and potenza is almost like strength power. It's the ability power. It's, Ooh, this is good. This is good. Okay, I'm going to say power as well. Power as in strength. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, this is good stuff. Okay, I'm going to leave this here, though. I don't want to dig too much. I know not everybody is like me, where you just want to keep digging. After a while, sometimes you got to put the brakes on it. You know what I mean? You can't dig too much, all right? We're going to leave this there. I think now it's safe to say we have an intimate understanding of what potere actually means. Okay? So we're going to leave that there. Let's talk about riuscire, va bene? Riuscire, ok. Allora, qual è la differenza, mannaggia? We could really close the video here, okay? But the point of what I do with these lessons, if you want to stop this and, you can come back to it. You can watch this part another day, It's up to you. That's the beauty of this technology. You are also in control. It's marvelous. But anyway, I want to do like a whole lesson because it's just like you guys are in the classroom with me. That's the point of this, to offer a free course. Yeah, I talk about, hey, join my group lessons. Obviously, those are the paid version of what I do. But I've always believed that education should be balanced, both paid and free. Because why can't knowledge be free also? You know what I mean? So I believe in this beautiful, balanced approach, okay? So that's why I've got the paid version and I've got the free version, but it doesn't mean the free version should be the light version, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like you're missing out on something. Anyway, so let's talk about riuscire for un attimo. Now, what's riuscire? Here's the difference between potere and riuscire. Potere is ability. Riuscire is success. That's it. That's all you need to know, okay? Think about it that way. To succeed. There you go. That's the difference, okay? So I'm going to write that for you guys. Potere is going to be ability, all right? Riuscire is success. We've already got that above, so we don't need to rewrite it, okay? Riuscire, success, potere, ability. E lasciamolo là, ragazzi. Let's just leave it there. That's it, okay? Va bene così. Basta così. So let's see this in some examples, okay? If someone says, for example, riesci... I was thinking if I could use an example like, non posso parlare l'italiano, then someone compliments you by saying, no, ma riesci benissimo, but you need to say ci riesci. So I'll get to the pronominal verb then version of this as well. But let's just first say, for example, if you told someone, riesco a vederti... riesci a vedermi. Yeah, let's put it that way. Let's put it in the me version, okay? So would you be able to see me later, okay? So we can say, riuscirai a chiamarmi. Yeah, let's put it this way. Riuscirai a chiamarmi? Chiamarmi. You could just say dopo. Okay? Versus potrai chiamarmi dopo. Ok. Forse non l'esempio migliore del mondo, ma ci sta. Maybe it's not the best example in the world, but it's okay. We're going to get to the heart of this. So, what's really the difference here? What's really going on? Riuscirai a chiamarmi dopo versus potrai chiamarmi dopo? Okay. Basically, the first one is implying, I know you've got like a really busy day and you don't really have a lot of time in your schedule for me, so do you think you'd like manage to call me later on or after? Like, will you have success at doing that? Would you be able to pull yourself away and call me? It's just sort of like, would you have success at doing it? That's it. Think success, okay? Potrai chiamarmi dopo is permission. Will you be able to call me later? Can you call me later? Could you call me later? Okay? This is a permission sort of thing. Riuscire does not deal with permission. Potere does. Okay? And we're going to look at that in just a second here. Let's put it this way. So, riuscire, no permission necessary. All right? I'm just asking, hey, can you pull yourself away? No permission necessary. Sorry I'm writing a little bit more sloppy this time. I'm just kind of wanting to keep it quick. So, potere, permission. Permission, I'm going to say required, okay? And I'm going to do some shorthand here. Position, permission, required. All right? Now, let's further explain this, because potere is beautiful, all right? It's used all over the place in the language. It's a beautiful, beautiful verb. So it's taking a little bit of the life from riuscire, but that's okay, because riuscire is simpler, right? If you just point to something and say, Posso? Okay? That's asking permission. This is like saying, may I? It could mean, might I? It could mean, can I? It could also mean, could I? What do all of these modal verbs, as we call them, what do they all imply? All different degrees of permission. When I teach this to people learning English, we got to break this down. There's a lot of meat right here. But if you are a native English speaker or someone who's been speaking English for a very, very long time, perhaps the nuances captured within all of these verbs will be apparent to you. So, may I, might I, can I, could I? All right? That's what posso. It's very also common, just sort of like raise your hand with a number 1. I've noticed people do that a lot. Posso. It's like, may I, could I just, for a minute, posso. You wouldn't say riesco. No, because riesco is me saying, I'm going to have success at this. Not only, I don't need permission because I already know I can do it. It's just a matter of me putting in the effort now to realize it. Beautiful. What a beautiful explanation. I gotta say, I'm really on the money today, okay? I hope that's coming off. I'm really on the money. What I'm thinking is, I don't want the video, though, to be too long. We're already at, a good point right now. So I think what we'll do is... let's see. Let's just do a few examples here. But I think that's enough, honestly. That's enough. Yeah, that's enough. Look at me, thinking in real time. But that's why this is just like my group lessons. You know what I mean? I want you to feel like we're negotiating at the same time. Because in my live lessons, I'm always sort of basing it, getting a temperature reading on the students. How you guys feeling? You want to dig deeper into this? You got questions? Do we have to back it up? But this is good. This is good. Let's jump ahead. Let's jump ahead. All right? Let's do it. So let's talk for a moment about riuscirci. Okay? Let's do that. Riuscirci. Okay, this is what we call a pronominal verb. What does that mean? Okay, pronominal. So the simple answer is, or the simple definition, any verb that uses a pronoun and therefore the meaning is enhanced. Generally speaking, we reserve this title when teaching Italian, for example, specifically to verbs that change a little bit more in meaning, okay? Because putting the ci here after riuscire, it's not the same as saying lo, la, li, and le as using object pronouns. Using this ci is for a bit of a broader concept here. And so for that reason, we would call it pronominal. The other verb that I wanted to show you was farcela. When fare is used, actually it's both of these, with these two pronouns, so it's ci plus la together makes ce la. When fare is used with ci and la, which then becomes ce la, not only does it mean to do or to make, but it means to pull something off. So it takes on a very similar meaning to riuscire, as in to have success at doing something, perhaps slightly more informal or colloquial rather. Maybe colloquial is the better term, meaning like more conversational every day. And it gives you this idea of like pulling something off. You did it. You made it happen, Versus riuscire is a standard success thing. You set out to do something and you achieved your goal. It's as simple as that. Farcela, maybe I didn't know if you'd be able to pull it off, man. Like, wow, I can't believe you did it. Okay? Like that. So let's talk about this for a minute. If I said to you, let's say non riesco, we have to have a whole phrase and then ci is going to replace what comes after the preposition a. So it's as simple as that. So you could look at it this way. So riuscire is always followed by the preposition a. So for example, riesco a vederti. Like I'd have success at being able to see you, I'd be able to see you. I could say riesco a sentirti. I'm able to hear you. I'm having success at hearing you. I know I can do it if I put in the effort, okay? And so on. If I said, for example, non riesco a, accontentarmi. That's a funny one. Non riesco. That's a funny one. Let's say that. No, I wasn't thinking that at first, but whatever. Non riesco mai ad accontentarmi. accontentarmi con, let's say, con nulla. Voglio sempre di più. This is a very insoddisfatto, una persona molto insoddisfatta. So this means I basically, like, I am never able to just be happy. I'm never able to satisfy myself, to make myself happy, as in to be content with something, okay? With anything. That's what I put here. So non riesco mai ad accontentarmi con nulla, or di nulla, you could also say. I always want more. I always want more. Mamma mia. So if you want to replace everything that comes after this ad, this is called a D euphonica, so a euphonic D. Basically, when you've got a followed by a verb with a, or a word with a after, you can actually put a D after the preposition a. So only when it's in its simple preposition form like this, okay? Ad accontentarmi. It's more for pronunciation. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, okay? You could just say, if I'm saying this again, non ci riesco. Excuse me, non ci riesco. You could say davvero. You know, you really want to drive this point home. Your friends are laughing. You're like, no, I'm being serious. I really just can't do it. Honestly, really. I really just can't. So basically what this pronoun ci does when it's used with riuscire is captures all of what comes after the preposition a, that whole explanation you just gave, what it is that I just can't do. You know what I mean? An expression we often say in Italian is è più forte di me. È più forte di me means it's stronger than I am, you know. I am subject to its will. I can't manage. È più forte di me. It's stronger than I am, okay? Io non ci riesco. We know when you say that ci, just like when we're using object pronouns, what it's entailing. It's that whole idea after the preposition a. Okay? Cool. And then what I'd like to do is we will end the lesson very shortly because, yet again, I don't want it to be super long, and we can do a whole video on pronominal verbs. But let's just talk about farcela per un minuto. So farcela, I would say the best translation is to pull something off. Because why? You know, when you say to pull something off, it means you had success at doing it, but perhaps there was a bit of suspicion on my end. I didn't think you'd be able to do it, man. Like, you know, I don't know. But you surprised me. There's a little bit of stupore there. There's a little bit of surprise there. So here's the way that we use it. Basically, conjugate fare as you would in any tense, any mood. The c'è and la is going to be what we call a constant. That will never change. That will never change. So conjugate, I'm just going to shorthand, fare, depending on who is having success at doing this, you know, depending on who. Let's just leave it there. C'è and la remain constant. That's it. So let me show you how to essentially conjugate this in the present, okay? We'll keep it really simple. When we look at something for the first time, we just put it in the present, okay? C'è, la, faccio. C'è, la, fai. C'è, la, fa. Let's pause for a moment. What are we doing? Taking fare, conjugating it in the present tense, because I want to talk about something happening now. The c'è and the la remains constant. We need that c'è in order to elevate fare, to take on this new and improved meaning. Otherwise, fare just means to do or make. But if you want to say to pull something off, you need c'è, la with it, okay? So that's going to remain constant. So what does this mean? I basically pull it off, basically like I can do it. I can do it and have success at doing it. That's the implication it gives, okay? Ce la fai, you basically can pull it off. It can mean that. Ce la fa is the he or she, okay? Let's finish the verb here. Ce la facciamo. This is the noi version. Ce la fate is the voi version. Voi form, I should say. Ce la fanno. the loro form. This is often used in the imperative to give someone some encouragement, okay? Someone's telling you, let's say this. Ooh, I just got a great idea. Your friend tells you, non riuscirò mai a imparare. Why am I having a blank here? Imparare. Yeah, okay. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on such a simple verb. Non riuscirò mai a imparare l'italiano. Okay, let's add one more thing. È troppo difficile. Okay. I'll never be able to learn Italian. As in, I will never have success at doing it. There's no impediment, okay? Blocking me, bloccandomi, nothing is in my way, impeding my success, besides just me not thinking I'll ever manage. Are you getting that feeling? You know what I mean? It's different from potere. Non posso mai imparare l'italiano. Are there people that speak that way? Yes, okay? We have to be clear. Speakers are everywhere on the spectrum of where they view meaning and nuance, okay? So it's not a hard and fast rule. This is all feeling, okay? It's why it's a challenging thing for a lot of students and why we're dedicating a whole video to it. We need to discuss it. So, non riuscirò mai a imparare l'italiano. I'll never be able to do it, man. It's not that I don't have what it takes. It's not that I'm not capable. I don't have something in my way that is più forte di me, that's greater than I am. No, it's just me kind of just sort of giving up. I think it's too hard. Maybe I'm being a little weak or a little whatever, You fill in the blank, okay? You can then respond to your friend by saying, dai, ce la fai. Forza. Forza e coraggio. There we go. Coraggio. I think it has 2 R's. Forgive me if not. Coraggio. I pronounce it like that, so I pronounce it with 2 R's. Forza e coraggio. Okay, what does this mean? So, dai, ce la fai. Why would I say ce la fai? Because I want to say, of course you can do it. Come on, you've got this. You can do it. You can pull it off. There you go. That is farcela. All right? I could say, dai, ci riuscirai. You could say that too, but that feels so just like, I want that umph. I want that punch. I want to use, like that bicep emoji when you're texting someone. That's what I use after ce la fai. Dai, ce la fai! Because that's what I'm thinking when I'm talking to you. Forza e coraggio. Forza means force, but it's a very common sort of battle cry if you're at like a soccer match, a football match for those of my non-American friends. You're at a football match in Italy, Italian football, footy, soccer. You're there, they'll say, Forza, dai, forza. They say it like that when they're yelling. Because they're like, come on, do it, get it. It's like that, okay? And then coraggio is like courage. It's a way of saying have courage, you've got this. Be courageous, be strong. So dai ce la fai. Cool. We're going to leave this here. I would say I am biased. Io sono di parte, okay? I'm biased. Sono di parte, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to write that down just so you have it. It's not sono da parte, vero? Drawing a little blank. It could be sono da parte, but I think it's sono di parte, yeah. This means I'm biased because it means I am to one side. It's like being a partisan of some sorts of some ideology, okay? I am to this side, sono di parte. So I am biased, but I think, my friends, that this was a masterclass, okay? On this topic. I am very, very chuffed to bits, as my British friends would say. I am well chuffed to bits, mate. I'm well chuffed to bits. For my all non-British friends, that's just a way of saying, I am thoroughly pleased. I am thoroughly pleased with this. I am well chuffed to bits, mate. I am well chuffed to bits. I'm very, very pleased for this. And look, we're learning a little bit of English dialect, if you will, while teaching Italian. What could be better than that? Okay. Cool. So we're going to wrap it up here. As always, if you want to be a part of my live group lessons, check out the link in the top line of the description. You can also just head on over to weilàtom.com. You can also send me an email. I would be more than happy to have you in my lessons. And be sure to check out all the other videos we've done in this series. Always remember to spread the love, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Alla prossima, ragazzi. Ciao.